What's going on, everybody? Today I was able to make a $700 profit trading the S&P 500. I had a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and basically I risked around $100 to $150 to make $737. Before I get into this recap, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, it would definitely help me out a lot. I also post a lot of content on my Instagram as well, so if you guys could click on my Instagram link in the description below and give it a follow, I would really appreciate it. But today I'll be going through every single order flow tool that I used in order to get into this trade, and also just explain some things that I've seen on the candlestick chart. So now going into the charts, on the 30-minute chart, you can see overnight we had a pretty bearish move, just completely bleeding down into the 4-hour level of demand that I had. And another reason why I was gauging this 4-hour level was not only because it was a 4-hour, but also because of this market structure type of demand that we have. You can see price was basing in this area, right? We're kind of going sideways, and we had a pretty explosive move up. So this entire area was just an area to watch. And on a higher time frame, I was able to find a 4-hour level. But what I noticed on the drop was literally no pullback on this drop. It just went straight down to demand, and we were testing it right at market open. And some things I want to go over in this trade is basically we had tested it pre-market around 8:50ish Eastern time, and we had a nice reaction, but I wanted to see what the market would do once it opened. And when we opened up, I noticed that we also kind of swept this pre-market low that we had. So my thesis for this trade was if we could take out and go on a stop hunt below the pre-market low, and the demand level is still being respected and buyers start to step in and trap sellers, then I will look to long to take out this temporary high here. And today was very volatile. I mean, even this small move here is around 15 points. And for those of you guys that have been following me, 15 points is a lot. Usually I go for 10 to 12 points with a 3-point risk. So, I mean, today's market was very volatile, but this was a trade that I took. I actually took a long position here based off of what the order flow was telling me. Unfortunately, I did get ticked out at break even, and price just continued to rip. And then my second trade was a low volume node pullback, which was right here. And this I had a 2-point stop loss, and I went for just a quick 10 points back up to these highs. But I'm gonna be going through the order flow and kind of dissecting each entry and why I got in. But first, the context of this trade was price was just bleeding down. We were taking out the pre-market low. I was looking to see if the demand level will hold, if sellers would get trapped and buying would step in, that basically play the market long to the nearest high or nearest resistance level. So going over to Bookmap. So the reason why I got into this trade, I actually got in right at 87.75. So the reason why I got into this trade was because I seen price just ripping down here, and we started to consolidate. And what I seen was I seen a lot of large selling. I seen a lot of bids getting filled, and we just started to kind of base out here. Then we had a strong move up. Despite the selling that was going on here, here, and here, price continued to move up. And when I seen that, I wanted to see if we come back and retrace the test this basing area. And as you guys can see, we came down, tested it once here with weaker selling, and we tested again with larger selling, and the market failed to move lower. Now I want to show you guys this in real time. So let me play this back. We're basing, we get that nice move up. Now I'm looking to see if price can come back down and test these trap sellers that are in this area. And there was a bid trying to rebid here, a buyer trying to rebid. I seen this initial test here. Then I seen another dip with large selling. Now I'm gonna play this on 1x speed. And when I seen this selling come in with no follow through to the downside, we pop up. This is exactly where I got long, right here at 87.75. And I have my stop loss, I believe at 86 or 85. I'm not too sure, but I had around a 2 to 3 point stop loss, and you can see this is just a perfect entry. The selling volume was trapped again here. Then the buyer stepped in immediately, and price just continued to rip up. Now I'm gonna fast forward this. Now at this point, I was in at 87.75 and I moved my stop to 88 flat. Now you can see I was targeting, I believe, the break of the 97s. So I was going for a 10-point trade. I really wanted the break of these highs at the 99s. You can see price almost stopped me out here, but I stayed in the trade. We break these highs, so I'm still holding to the break of the 97s. And, or I believe it was the 98s. So we came back down, or was just consolidating. Really, I was just holding this the whole time. You can see price came down, ticked me out, filled this bid right here. Then price just completely went to the upside. Now at this point, I was pretty frustrated. I was just like, damn, you know, like, I mean, I held this entry for about, it wasn't even that long, maybe like 10, actually more than 10 minutes, about 15 minutes. And price took me out. Then it kind of just started to fly. And I actually went like 25 points in my direction. So it kind of looked like this. I was in at the 87.75s, tight stop. Price ticked me out, then went up and just shot up another, well, 36, 37 points. Now, obviously, I could sit here in hindsight and be like, damn, I could have caught this entire move. Realistically, I was just going for 10 to 15 points. And I followed my rules. Like, price went up in profit, 9 points. And I moved my stop to break even. And it's unfortunate that I got stopped out, but I was just following my plan. So it's not much I could do about that. And the reason why I do move my stop loss to break even when we're like 7 to 10 points of profit is because I really don't want the trade to go red on me, especially if we're breaking highs and like a lot of buy momentum is coming into the market. Where I entered at, technically, if price comes back down, there's a higher probability of that trade losing. So that's why I moved my stop to break even, to kind of play defense and really stay conservative with my capital, especially in this type of market. Because, I mean, if this trade literally just kept going down and ripping through this demand, then we'd be sitting here talking about how I should have went to break even and etc. But, you know, just for me personally, going through my data and like all my information and the, you know, the information that I gathered over time through my trades, going to break even was a valid decision for me, and that's just what it is. I mean, the outcome of the trade is something I can't control, but yeah, that is basically what I seen on Bookmaps to get me into that trade. So it was literally just a lot of sell volume, trap sellers basing. We get a pop up, trapping these sellers, and the buyers showing control. We dip back down with more sell volume, no follow through. Buyer stepped in again. That's where I got long. So I was just looking for one side to get trapped and the other side to take control, and then play a pullback to see if those, you know, participants would get trapped again or absorbed, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So that was my first trade. And my second trade was actually after this pump had already happened. I seen that price left a low volume node, I believe around the 07s to around the 97s. I don't know if it was 98 or 97, but we'll double check in a minute. But I basically wanted to see price come down, tap into this low volume node here, absorb the sellers, trap them, and take them back up. And I was able to get a pretty quick, nice entry here. Now this is a A+ trade because number one, we're bouncing off of this demand. So we're showing a strong reaction off of this demand. We come down, right? We sweep the pre-market low, we make a higher low, then we make a strong push up off of this demand. Now, on this push off of demand, we have a low volume node that got created. We have a low volume node, and this low volume node was basically something that I spotted on Bookmap. So as you guys can see, I'm gonna fast forward this. We bounce off demand, we start to create a low volume node. So there's a lot of volume building up on this right side here in the volume profile. You can see there's a low volume node from about the 07s here to about the 9750s. So going back to my candlestick chart, the reason why I really liked this second entry is because one of everything that I explained as far as demand getting respected, higher structure getting put in, a low volume node getting created. I really liked this setup because we had a low right here, and my thesis was if price is consolidating here and there's a low volume node beneath, I want to see if we could sweep this low here, tap this low volume node, and make a way back up. So I really wanted like a stop hunt plus a low volume node pullback, and that's exactly what we got here. And I entered right at 07 with my stop at 05, and I was going for the 17s. Now I'm going to explain why 17 and not the 25s. But I went for the 17s, hit my target, went straight to my target, and I logged off for the day. And then you can see from there, price just dumped. But going back to this entry, I'm gonna go over to Bookmaps to kind of show you guys what I've seen. All right, so on Bookmaps, you can see zooming in, we swept this low here. We're tapping into this low volume node. And on this test at a low volume node, we sweep the previous low, going on stop hunt. And now, number one, I see a lot of sell volume coming into the market. You guys can see these red selling volume is a lot bigger than this selling up here. So there's a lot of people trying to, FOMO in, or I don't know, emotionally enter into shorts here. And what I figured was this was either stopping out these buyers that were up here or luring in late sellers. And basically the reason why I triggered long was because there was a lot of selling volume with a lack of follow through to the downside. So despite this large selling here, there was no follow through down. And on top of that, we're starting to base out and the buying is starting to slowly step in. So when I had seen this, I immediately triggered long here, right here at the 07s. I had seen the large selling, the bids getting filled. I seen the buying starting to step in. We started basing out. The selling here is getting obviously weaker than it was here. So I triggered along right here at the 07s, stop loss right below this bid at the 05s, and you can see price just ripped up. And the reason why I targeted the 17s was because we rejected it once, twice, and 3 times. So going over to the footprints, what I seen on the footprints was basically we were taking out this low again, tapping into this low volume node that I have marked out. And on this test, I seen a lot of illiquidity here. So we see the illiquidity at the bottom portion of this footprint, and now zooming in, there was a negative 619 delta that stepped in at the low of this footprint bar, and immediately the buying stepped in here. Now, when I seen this buying step in at the 06.75s, I then triggered along immediately right here at the 07s. And I have my stop loss at the 05s. So the footprint confirmation was pretty simple. I mean, there was a volume tail at the lows, illiquidity, showing me that price did not want to be at the low, or price did not want to be in this low volume node area. There was a lot of selling stepping into the market with no follow through to the downside. Then we see buying step in immediately after. And when I had seen that, I just triggered long at the 07s, right at this white line, my stop loss right here at the 05s, and I targeted the 17s up here, which is basically, now I'm looking at it's 2 P shapes up here. So That's kind of what I targeted, a 10 point stop. 10 point target with a 2 point stop. And I had seen all this information at the same time. I was kind of looking at book maps. And when you look at book maps alone, it looks like I got a very early entry. But mind you guys, I wasn't just looking at book maps. Like I seen the selling on book maps, I seen the basing, but on the footprints is where I seen the illiquidity, the delta, trap negative delta, and then the buying volume starting to step in. So when I had seen that, that's what got me to trigger that long. So it was basically, 2 to 3 things that I seen on book maps, and then another 3, 4 things that I seen on footprints to then get me to click that buy button. And this was how I was able to get a 5R trade, right, with a 2 point stop in such a volatile market. And I was able to do so by just using the order flow and reading what was going on once price got to my level of interest. So it's very, very important that you guys not just look for like different shapes or like B shapes, P shapes on footprints or like certain patterns on book maps. Like learning and taking certain patterns are good, but I think learning like what information is being presented in real time will just give you a better understanding of what the market is trying to tell you. So, the goal is to get to a point where like you're waiting for the market to tell you what to do, right? Like you don't want to be guessing or like only taking trades when you see a B shape, right? Like you want to be able to read what is going on. Like, is there illiquidity? Are there sellers that are being trapped? Are there buyers that are stepping in? Like what's going on between the buyers and the sellers? So that's it for my recaps for today. Just one break even and one winning trade for 5R. If you guys could like, comment, and subscribe on this video, I would really appreciate it. If you guys could comment what you guys thought about the video or any new type of videos you guys want to see, feel free to just tell me in the comments below. Also, follow my Instagram. I do have some content that I'm posting on there as far as trade recaps and just trading tips. But for today, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.